Alright guys, well I found me some old wall spray. It didn't have hardly no propellant, but it did have some spray in it, so I wetted this down pretty good to kill these, and I found some flying insect killer and sprayed this bar good. And them jokers was just pouring out right here. Old fire ants too, I mean. They're just pouring out of there. They don't like that spray though. Where do you go? They don't like that spray very much, but one of them bit me as I was spraying. I guess it blowed them up on me and kind of whipped me up right there. So it's pretty bad. I brushed one off my leg. I sure don't want to get eat up in them things. So I'm gonna just let them sit there till they die. And then we'll figure out what all we need to take off. I'm pretty sure we're going to take something else off to get this stuff off. So this right here is the three that holds the gearbox down, and it's got some more here, three through here that holds it in, so that's got to come out. Alright guys, well I think I got most of the ants off, so I flipped her back over, took these three bolts out, flipped her back over, took this section out right here. So make sure I know exactly where that goes back. The other section come off right here, and it's right here at the oil drain plug for reference. So now the fun part begins. I think I'll try to get these rock guards off first. See what I was holding them on. I think it's just these two bolts on each side of them. So I did have to use the pull handle to get these bolts free, but it wasn't terribly bad. But they didn't have nuts on them either, so that's going to make it a little bit worse. So I'm going to start working on getting it tore down and flip it back over. Let's see exactly what's over here on the other side. Alright, so as you can see, these rock guards are they're just screwed in. You can see the bolt right there. It's screwed into them, so no nuts to deal with there. Just have to remember where exactly they go back. 3 holes down and then the rock guard, and then 2 and 2. Well, actually 3, 3 and 2 and 3. So 3 spots in between and 3 down from the end. That should be pretty easy to remember. Alright guys, well, another problem. These bolt heads are in pretty bad shape, especially that one. And I'm afraid they're going to be pretty much like that all the way down, but more especially on this end. And this one apparently didn't have a hole there. So actually there was something that fell out, and I'm not sure what it was. I think that's where that went, or maybe this is where that went. I think this is where that went. So I'm not really sure where this or this came from. They fell off as I was turning, so yeah, we're gonna have fun figuring out how to get this thing all back together. And unfortunately, I'm afraid I'm gonna have to do some more cutting to even get these bolts here that's bolted everything together off. And these nuts on this side, being fairly protected, they look in pretty good shape, but I don't know what the other side looks like. Yeah, that looks pretty rough. So that looks pretty rough. I'll never be able to get nothing on them. So it looks like I'm going to be replacing some rock guards too, unless I can drill them out. So, alright guys, we're just taking the pull handle and the hammer and beating them on. I was only able to get one rock guard off with the bolt. It was the only 2 bolts I was able to even get to break free. The rest of them was just turning on the socket. So I'm gonna go back and try a smaller socket. Those are 15 millimeter, so I'm gonna go with maybe a 9/16, drive it on there and try that. If that don't work, I guess I'm gonna just either grind them off or cut them off. Alright guys, well I have been working for hours on this thing. I have tried welding nuts, welding bolts to the stripped heads. And finally I decided to cut the heads off, but guess what? You still can't get them out with the heads off because the bolt goes through, and so you're cutting the head off, you still can't pull it out. So what I've ended up having to do is drill through, at least on one side. Once I got the head cut off, I could get it out. So what it's looking like is that. Of course, my good bit that fits is dulled now, so I'm stuck with that one. So I still got this one to go, and I'll show you what that head looks like. And I didn't do a good job cutting on this one, but this one's cut through. And so tomorrow I'll get my good fresh battery. I'll drill these two out. I'll drill them from the underside, and I'll show you. On the underside, you remember, you can see those bolt ends. So that's the best place to drill. And a good bit will go through it pretty good, but of course I wasted a whole lot of time trying to weld nuts and weld bolts, and that shit just didn't work. I'll show you some of my attempts right here. And see, it just breaks right off. I just couldn't get it connected good, and the one bolt I got connected good rung off. So yep, so the best way to do it is to drill it. Guys, today we're going to get started by drilling out these two bolts. And I'm using a smaller drill bit than the bolt right now. Try to get it centered. I think it's pretty well all the way through. We'll try to drill this one out. Of course, the proper way of doing this is to use a center punch. Try to find center. I should have done that, but I was in a hurry. It does make a big difference if you can get it centered up to start with. That does kill the batteries pretty quick. I'm all the way through that one. I haven't made it all the way through this one yet. To a different bit. Listen, I'm gonna try one size smaller. Yeah, this battery, I just charged up overnight. Now shit. That is not what we wanted. Not at all. Son of a bit. Son of a buck. That was the last thing I wanted was to break a drill bit off in there. Son of a gun. Well, let's see if we can get this other one cleaned out, and we'll have to do some more cutting on this one. Try to get it out of there. I don't know. This thing's beat up. I probably won't try to save it anyway, but well, let's flip her over, and I gotta do some more cutting. See the one I drilled all the way through. Now what I could do is take that big bit and go back through on this side. I'm still going to have to cut this nut off. Zoom out a little bit. Let's see. This nut's got to be cut off. I'm going to take this big bit, since I ain't planning on keeping this bar. Pretty much done. This battery's getting bad. Alright, that's just a piece of loose bolt that's in there. Melted that, more or less. See how rusty and flaky this is. Well, that's all of them. So I got this bolt I got to get off. I'm going to leave this attached. This other bolt is loose enough where I'm pretty sure I can get something on that end and get that off by hand. And then I can work on taking these bolts here out of the bar. This has gotten some damage on it, as shown in that first video, but I don't think it's really going to hurt nothing. But yeah, the nuts and all up here look good, and the heads look good up here, and I think the nuts look good on the other side. So I may just work on getting that out after I cut this off, cut this nut off, and I'll work on getting this bar off here. Oh crap! I don't think I was recording that a while ago, but anyway, I got that bolt cut off. And I thought I was recording it, but maybe not. So I got it flipped over now, and what we're going to do is start trying to take these nuts off. And I got to find me a wrench to hold the heads on with as we unbolt it. And hopefully won't have no issues, because these look like they're in pretty good shape. Wouldn't you know it, the last one's the one that's going to cause troubles. Oh no. turned it or if it's actually broke free. Oh, I didn't have to put my thing on that. That head was shot on that one. And now we're just down to the bar and the gears, and we don't like much, just a few bolts having it where it'd be ready to pull apart. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So basically it's just, this end's the worst. It's pitted pretty bad, so I'll just take my wire wheel on my grinder, clean that up, get this bolt out, clean up these places where the skids have really done a job on it. And yeah, so here's all the holes. Got 2, one there and one there. It's just bad shape, real bad. That JB weld held for a little while, but it did let me get through that last cutting. But it was leaking time I pulled out of the field. It was back to leaking, so we made it barely. All the other ones are off. So what I'm gonna do before I take this apart is I'm gonna go ahead and order my upper and bottom parts, any seals I need for it, my bearing, and seal for that, and yeah. So then once we take this apart, I'm gonna need to be ready to go right back in the new one with the gears so I don't get them mixed up if there's any difference. Anyway guys, thanks for watching. Stay tuned. I'm gonna get these ordered Monday, and hopefully they'll be here by the end of the week, but I'm gonna be leaving for vacation on next Friday, and I won't be back for a week, so it may be 2 weeks before you get a video on it. So keep watching, and thanks for watching this one, and please rate, comment, subscribe if you haven't.